I'm back, baby. I am Bizak. Let's go. All right. So, good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello. I am excited to be before you this evening. Can't play my music because I got some new technology going on, and apparently that has thrown a few things off, but that is a okay. I am so full right now. Uh, because I'm excited about this launch party, baby. I'm excited about the fact that this book is out there and ready. So let's talk about what we're going to get into tonight during this launch party. I'm gonna go over some information, just give you a little bit of background about the book and how it came to be, as well as some information about the book, what it's about, who it's for, as well as tell you about some of the cool things that come along with it, and just some overall general information to celebrate. And definitely looking forward to doing at least one giveaway during the course of the launch party. So, a couple of things. I am using new software, so I don't believe that I have any. Um, Access to comments at this moment, so maybe that's because of the settings. Either way, we're gonna rock and roll and keep it going. So for those of you who are new to me, those of you who do know me, my name is Shamika Williams, aka the Mika Mindset, and I am the author of The Confidence Switch: How to Change Careers and Still Love Your Life. uh, I decided to write this book after I changed careers. There were a couple of reasons why I decided to write the book. Probably the primary reason was for me to be able to document the process. I wanted to write down and document exactly what I experienced, what I was going through, as well as document some of the reflections that I had as I was going through this process. So initially, this book was definitely, there was a lot of selfish motives in that. I wanted to make sure that I preserved the experience for myself, because a lot of times you move on to something else and you might, honestly forget how and why and what you went through. Sometimes you may misremember things. You may think things were a little easier or a little harder than what they were. So I wanted to document this process so that I could truly have in real time exactly what was going on with me, what I was experiencing. But on the other hand, the other thing that I wanted to do is I really wanted to create and write a book that was going to help people. I feel like there are a lot of individuals, and I know, not feel, I know that there are a lot of other individuals who are in the process of changing careers or on that journey. And what I observed is that there are a lot of questions that weren't being answered. There were questions that needed to be answered, but they weren't questions that could be answered in a Facebook post. They needed a lot more discussion, a lot more um, introspection, reflection. And so I decided to really tackle some pretty, heavy topics to some extent when it comes to just mindset and how you think of yourself and how we work and get past some of our limiting beliefs and some of those habits that we had based on our upbringing. And so this book that I wrote is really for anyone who is looking to change careers and is at a point, especially early on in the process, where they don't quite know what it is they're trying to do. So they don't know exactly what career, they don't know what they want to do, they don't know where to start, and they're really trying to find and get an idea of what it is they are trying to accomplish. They're looking for some sense of direction. And so the goal of this book is really to help provide some of that guidance based on what I experienced, and to give you some context about how I achieved and arrived at the framework that I created. So I created a signature framework. It's called the pivot process, and it walks you through the step by step process of what you need to do to embark on a successful pivot. And so I decided to really break it down this way because I believe and know that there are different steps, there are levels to this process. And thinking that you can just go from point A to point B without taking the incremental steps can be a little misguided. And so I wanted to provide a simple, easy process that anyone could apply to accomplishing their goal of changing careers. So with the book, I did one, I broke it down into a few sections. The first thing I wanted to do was give you all some background and some insight about myself and how I got to this point of where I am. And most of you who have been rocking with me for a while, you've been watching my lives, you kind of know a little bit about my background and history. But of course, the readers, they don't know that. So I gave them that context in terms of what that looks like, in terms of how, I ended up being stuck in a dead end career for 20 years, right? But what I also did is, once I kind of gave that backdrop, I wanted to really start focusing on how I could help you and how my experience could help others. And so the second section of the book really delves into the pivot process. Now, the pivot process, as I mentioned, is my proprietary framework. It is 4 steps. So the pivot process consists of purpose, and I just drew a blank there. Purpose, passion, preparation, and power. I just like had a major brain freeze up here trying to remember the 4 steps of my process. Purpose, passion, preparation, and power. And so, just to give you a little bit of insight about what each of those mean, purpose is the purpose of your pivot. If you're looking to pivot and change careers, there needs to be a purpose. There needs to be a purpose behind it. And so, for me, there are few things that I was taking into consideration. But for me, one of those things was I wanted a remote position. That was one of the things that was important to me. And there were some personal reasons behind that. And I didn't want to have to go into a new job and explain why I needed special accommodations. So what took that out was just getting a completely remote job, because then I didn't have to explain to anybody why I might need some special accommodations from time to time. So that was something that was a part of my purpose for changing careers. So you want to get clear on why you are seeking to change careers. The second step is passion. Now, I know there's a lot of talk. People don't believe that you should be taking or factoring in passion when you are trying to decide on a career. And I say, you should totally be taking passion into consideration, because who wants to do something and spend 40 hours a week doing anything that they don't like? I mean, like, that's a lot of time. That's a good portion of your life. So if you're going to be doing something for 40 hours a week, it needs to be something you kind of like doing. You don't want to be waking up every day miserable, grumpy, and complaining because you got a job that you don't like. And so passion to me is extremely important when it comes to determining what your next career is. So for me, I had to find something that was going to allow me to utilize some of the things that I'm passionate about. And for me, one of the things I'm passionate about is coaching. So as a recruiter, that's something that I get to do. That is a part of what I do as a technical recruiter. I get a chance to coach my candidates about the interview process and help them prepare and giving them the insight that they need, giving them the feedback that they need so that they can prepare for their interviews. So that's something that's extremely important to me. And I felt that that was also something important to convey to others during the book. So that's another reason why I included it in the pivot process. So step number 3 is preparation. So preparation is all about preparing yourself so that you are the best possible candidate for that position. So the preparation is going to take into consideration your interview prep, is going to take into consideration what you need to do education wise. Do you need to upskill? What are you looking to learn? Do you need to revise your resume? Do you need to do a little bit more networking? So the preparation phase takes all of that into consideration so that you are putting yourself in position to win and to succeed. And last but certainly not least is power. Power is and still continues to be one of the hardest parts for me to really describe because there's so much that comes with power. But power is a combination of your faith and your activity. It's a part of you having the faith and the belief that you can go out and accomplish what you've set out to accomplish, but also putting the work in behind it to say, hey, I know I can do this. And so I'm showing up because I know I can do this. So you have the faith, which is the mental, the spiritual aspect of things, but the activity is you putting the work in behind it, because the Bible says faith without works is dead. So you have to have the faith, but you also have to put the works in with it. And so power is about how you can position yourself mentally to go out and execute the way that you need to do. And so, with all of these parts of the framework, I have what I call the pivot process. So that's the second part of the book, and I believe that's something that is definitely going to be beneficial to readers as they go through that process and start working through those different things that they need to do in order to move forward on their career transition journey. And part three of the book, I tackle some of the most common questions that I've encountered on my journey to changing careers. So I'm a part of several Facebook groups, and there are a lot of questions that come up, right? There are questions about resumes, there are questions about interviews, there are questions about different types of careers, where do I get started? And so I share my take on a lot of those questions. I pick the 10 most common questions that I've seen, and I tackle them from my perspective. Now, for those who know me, you know I'm going to come in and I'm going to give you very interesting perspective, because I'm going to give you the mindset piece, because mindset plays a big part in how and what we're looking for. A lot of times people are looking for certainty. A lot of times people are looking for evidence in someone else that this can be done. And what they don't realize is that they're looking for those things because they have that doubt that lives and resides within them. And so it's important to be clear on what it is, what the motives are behind some of the questions that are being asked, because that helps you understand your psyche and helps you work towards reprogramming yourself so that you're not approaching any goal from a limited or lack mindset. So it's important to really be able to understand the question behind the question. So I tackle the 10 most popular questions that I've come across, and I answer those. And then in the last section of the book, I just load you up with a ton of resources, just general information, great tips to offer in terms of going on this transition journey. Probably one of my favorite or most applicable tips that I share is about being clear on when your health care insurance or your insurance and benefits in general end as you go through the transition process. And that's something that I myself personally didn't really consider when I was looking to transition careers. I didn't think about that in terms of exactly when the timing was going to be, and I didn't plan it any kind of way. But fortunately, when I did put in my resignation, I found out that my insurance would be good until the end of the month. So I was like, "Whew, that's good." That way I know how that goes, because I don't know how the situation gonna be at the next job in terms of when the insurance starts. So come to find out, at the new job, the insurance starts the beginning of the following month. So I resigned in May. My insurance was good through May 31st. The insurance for the new job kicked in on June 1st. So great, there was no lapse. But what happened is, the day before I started my new job, I broke my foot. So if my insurance had ended on the last day of employment, I would have been uninsured for that situation. And of course, we don't plan for things like that to happen. We don't plan for accidents to happen, but they do happen. And so that was one of the tips that I was able to share with individuals based on my personal experiences. Those are things you want to look into, make sure you're fully aware of so that you can plan accordingly when it comes to making your transition. So that's part 4 of the book. So just big overview of the book. I kind of start early on in my life, to give the backdrop, but take you guys full speed ahead into exactly what happened during the actual journey for myself, and what I've learned along the way. So that has been this book has been an amazing process. Um, what I've decided to do, really to continue to help those who are in the process of seeking a new career, I decided to take everything up a notch, right? I didn't just want to do a book. I didn't want to do a book and just let it be at that. I actually created a workbook that actually helps my readers go through the pivot process. So there's the 4 steps of the pivot process. So I have a book that actually helps my readers go through that process, a workbook that actually helps the readers work through the pivot process so that they can start thinking about those different things, thinking about the preparation, the passion, the purpose, and power. So I have a free workbook that all of my readers get access to, but I also created an exclusive community, where there's going to be mentorship offered to those who are joining. So the mentorship community is open to my readers, but it's also open to other individuals who are interested in joining. And I decided to create this community because I wanted to deliver more than what I was seeing. So I saw a ton of great information being shared in a lot of groups, um, but I didn't see um, some of the very specialized information, and opportunities to really help people get a deeper knowledge of what these different careers look like, what the different processes look like. So I decided to create a community that was going to give that extra information that I didn't see. So I'm going to be doing webinars, having special guests, featuring and focusing on different careers so that people who are looking to transition careers can really get the type of details and insights that they are looking for. So I'm really looking to be a true resource for those who are seeking to change careers. Again, that access to that community is free. So I'm excited about that. But other than that, the last thing, well, not the last thing, one thing I want to let you guys know that the book is available. It's available on Amazon. It's available on Apple Books, The Confident Switch, How to Change Careers and Still Love Your Life. It's available in ebook on Apple Books. It's available in ebook and paperback on Amazon. And I'm still waiting for Google to get it together, but as soon as Google Books has it approved, then I will be sharing that link with you all as well for those who prefer Google Books. So that's all of the platforms the book's available on. It's $9.99. Ebook, it's $19.99. Paperback, I had to price the paperback accordingly because I did get premium um, paper and color because I do have a colorful book. So I didn't want to skimp on that. Um, the last thing I want to do before I close out, because these lights are about to melt a sister, you know what I mean? I'm just about to melt this chocolate. Um, I want to just say thank you to everyone who has been a support, who have been supportive. To everyone that pre-ordered the book, thank you, thank you, thank you. To everyone who purchased the book today, thank you, thank you, thank you. To those who continue to encourage me along the way, it means so much. It means so much to have people in my life who are supportive. It means so much to have a supportive community, who show up and support me. It means a lot to me to just be able to share my experiences and what I've learned. Um, I want to thank my editor, uh, Erin Wiley. She worked miracles on this book, baby. This book would not be. I probably wouldn't be as excited about this book if I didn't have her working on it, because she did a great job. She really took my book up a few notches. And I'm like, man, I need somebody like that all the time, right? So she did a wonderful job editing the book, checking me a few times when I might have been out of pocket. She was like, I don't know about this, Shamika. So she totally kept me on the straight and narrow, made sure the theme of the book carried on throughout the book. I mean, she did a phenomenal job. And that's probably, she's really one of the reasons why I'm so excited about this book. Because I believe after she put her hand on it, I felt better about the quality of the book. I felt better about the content. I felt better about my idea, and my framework. I felt more confident and better about everything because she made it sound better. She gave it a better delivery, and so I'm super thankful to her for that. Thankful to my husband, who has been extremely supportive. He's been sharing my stuff everywhere, has given me the space I needed to kind of bury my head and promote my book and write my book and do everything that I needed to do as it relates to it. So I'm so super thankful to him. My GC crew, who I am accountable to. Thank you all for your support. You guys have been awesome. To all of my coaches, yeah, because I got a lot of coaches. It seems like, to all of my coaches, uh, thank you. Who I got to shoot, Ben, Lachelle, Walina. Thank you all, helping me at different points in this process. Shout out to my accountability partner, Nico, for helping me through this process. It's just been, you all have been simply amazing. So, with that being said, I think it's about time for me to turn this baby off. I will go through and take a look at the comments after the fact and see who might be the lucky winner of a free ebook. And once I figure that out, I will let you know. But I thank you so much for tuning in. Please catch the replay if you haven't had a chance to watch the entire live. And definitely share, and do more sharing. Thanks again, and have a great evening. Peace.